If you're looking for a solid and actionable, zoomed out point of view on what Olivia Nuzzi's American Canto is, maybe you can think about it as the diary of a love affair between a liberal and an emerging fascist, written by the liberal, who now has regrets and feels kind of helpless, but thinks they can hold on to their dignity by turning the collapse of society into the landscape of their own hero's journey. So there are already excellent zoomed out takes. Is Nuzzi rebranding herself as Joan Didion? Yeah, right down to the retro 1970s minimalist cover. Is the sex stuff way less important than the deep failure in journalism stuff? Yes. Should we be surprised that a journalist who was rewarded for creating a strong personal brand has gone on to devour journalism in her own mind with that branding altogether? No. I think all of these are on point, and they're great because they help get our minds off of these two goobers masturbating over FaceTime. So I'll probably do a series on this, focusing on one excerpt at a time. So in this first one, I'll give an overview of the theme first. What do we know historically about how liberals are a little bit scared of fascists, but also somehow overwhelmingly attracted to them, and also find it very hard to stand in their way because they're just so big and strong and virile, and they have some really good ideas for the country? There are entire streams of research that cover exactly how this happened between the liberal Western media and the emerging fascists of the 1930s, plus a lot of popular and accessible content on this, like Robert Evans's Behind the Bastards episodes called How the Liberal Media Helped Fascism Win. So why do liberals fail this way? Because they don't have a critical position in relation to capitalism. They view themselves as entitled to access and power, and they don't have strong ideological differences with fascists. A big chunk of Nuzzi's book is about how her infatuation with Kennedy took the form of advising him on his melted campaign because she believed in his basic goodness. Now, love is bizarre, but I can't personally imagine falling in love with someone so hard that I just bypassed their disgusting ableist positions on autism and disability, as well as their hatred for expertise and their clear patterns of treating women like garbage, in favor of swooning over their overall goodness. But the person who can do that probably isn't bothered by those things too much. So when the liberal journalist or opposition party politician encounters the fascist and gets a whiff of their danger, they bite their lip and cross their fingers and hope for some kind of return to normalcy. And that means they pull their punches for fear of losing access. They're fascinated by the fascist energy for innovation. Wow, the trains. Wow, the supplements. Wow, biohacking. They can detect some problems, but they also believe that the goodness of their own soul can positively influence the fascist. So when Nuzzi finally admits to herself that she loves Kennedy, it's because she imagines becoming the mother to his wild child self, which is also one way of resolving the dissonance of the age difference, I guess. But then in the rearview mirror, once they realize they've been had, they've been wrecked, they wave their hands and say, woe is us. How were we so taken advantage of? Now, won't they get angry? No. Won't they seek revenge? No. They don't need to, because they still have access to power. Nuzzi was not going to come forward and disrupt the flow of fascism as Kennedy cruised through his confirmation hearings to be seated as HHS secretary and become the butcher-in-chief of public health. Acting strongly is always distasteful to the liberal, but there are two other reasons to hold fire, because first of all, becoming a whistleblower means really owning how bad you got played. And secondly, if you come out with guns blazing, the powerful might not invite you to their parties anymore. And then how could you use your positive influence, your incredible writing prowess, your literary references for good? Okay, so that's some background. Let's look quickly at the author's note to see how this gets set up right from the jump. And I'll do some other excerpts in future videos. So Nuzzi tells us on page 1 what the book is about. It is a book about life in America as I have lived and observed it, and about the nature of our reality, and about character, his and my own, and that of the country he has so affected. It is also a book about love, because everything is about love, and about love of country. The reddest flag for the liberal approach to fascism is that it's all about character and psychology. It's not about power. It's not about capital, violence. It's not about class. It's not about gender inequality. It's not about misogyny. The approach is about the internal battle over the essence of goodness and how this is buffeted by, but not created by, political forces. It has a spiritual dimension, the nature of our reality, as she writes. But the motivating source of all social action in this framework is sentimentality. And all of that comes down to what we take for love, especially love for our country. Because at the base of things, the country is not in terminal capitalist crisis. It's not founded on imperialism and slavery. It's fine. It'll work out. It's flawed but lovable. It's a noble project, just like you. Okay, so I'll try to review page 1 tomorrow.